Hey everybody, this is your Digital Super Saiyan 3 back here with the new video, and I'm actually excited for this review. Literally, I am excited to do this review. Dragon Ball Z Movie 4 Lord Slug. That's right, we're finally tackling this movie. And I just got done watching this movie just not too long ago. So yeah, here it is, my review of the fourth Dragon Ball Z movie. And yes, if you haven't seen this movie, and if you do have this movie in your collection, I really recommend you watch it with the American music, or the American soundtrack, or the US broadcast version with the American soundtrack. Either way, on to the review. Our movie begins inside the forest as we are at a waterfall where Piccolo is meditating. Piccolo yet again meditating, just to get lost in the sounds of bliss of the waterfall. Then Gohan shows up with his dragon friend Icarus, and Gohan said, "Hey, look, Piccolo, I taught Icarus how to dance." And Gohan and Icarus begin dancing, and Gohan begins whistling until Piccolo is getting annoyed with the whistling, and yes, the sound is so bad towards Namekians, because Namekian ears are very sensitive, and Namekian hearing is very sensitive. Namekians have very sensitive hearing, something we begin to learn a lot about Namekians in this movie. And then, as Piccolo yells, "Gohan, don't ever do that again," and then Gohan apologizes, saying, "I'm sorry, Piccolo." And then Piccolo says, "Shake it off, kid, it's not that." And then they both sense something wrong. And then it cuts to Capsule Corp, where Bulma sees her father, Dr. Brief, examining a meteorite that is a ginormous planet-shaped meteor heading towards the planet as it's preparing to crash towards Earth. And of course, Bulma's saying, "What's the scoop, Dad? Is it gonna hit?" And Dr. Brief says, "Yes, dear, I'm afraid it is going to hit." And Oolong's like, "Can we destroy the darn thing?" And Dr. Brief says, "We thought about that, but we learned that it's inhabitant." And then Oolong says, "It's either them or us." Bulma says, "Yeah, but you don't want to hurt anyone." Then, of course, we cut to a news broadcast showing us a simulation of the Earth blowing up. And the newscaster getting all scared, saying, "I don't want to spend my last minutes on Earth in a television studio, so see you, bye." Then it cuts to Kame House, where Krillin was watching TV, and saying, "Oh man, I just wanted to watch the sports. Now I figure out the world's ending. This isn't fair. I haven't even had a girlfriend yet." So it cuts to Goku and Krillin flying towards the massive planetoid and attempts to knock it back off course from Earth to prevent it from crashing into Earth. Watching from a nearby site is Bulma, Icarus, Oolong, Chi-Chi, and Gohan. Goku and Krillin try to knock the meteorite back with a Kamehameha, but it doesn't work as the meteorite bounces off of the Kamehameha bounces off of the meteorite, and the winds from the meteorite begin blowing away Goku and Krillin as the meteorite begins causing floods, destroying cities. Oh my lord. It's decimating everything. But then the meteorite flies up into the sky and blows up, only to reveal within it a spaceship. Gohan and the others see the spaceship and go to check it out. There we meet our villain, Lord Slug, and his minions. Lord Slug, one of Lord Slug's elite soldiers, asked How long does it take to terra freeze the planet? And then he angered Slug by mentioning Slug's mortality. Slug kills this minion, only then to ask the scientist the same question. But the scientist said, um, we calculate it could be within 10 days, but then Slug kills the scientist, only for another scientist to show up. And Slug says, you're in charge now. How long will it take? And then the scientist says, if I say 3 days, will I live? Lord Slug, I will get the job done within 3 days. Slug's soldiers come out of the massive spaceship and they tell the people of Earth that Slug has commandeered this planet, or that this planet is under the reign of Lord Slug. The people outside begin to laugh until Slug's minions begin lighting up the city block after laughing at the threat that Lord Slug's men were giving. Gohan charges in to try to confront Slug's minions, and he is fighting them off really well until Chi-Chi comes in and she tries to fight. Yes, this is another movie where Chi-Chi does get to fight in this movie, just like she tried to do in Dead Zone. Or she tried to do something in Dead Zone, at least. Yeah. Chi-Chi manages to knock down 2 of Slug's goons, only for her to get hit in the stomach by getting knocked out. And then Gohan flies in to save his mother from being blasted to death by ki blasts, only for Gohan to get himself knocked out by 2 of Slug's elite warriors, Metamacha and Wings. Yes. That's this guy right here. His name is Wings. After Lord Slug himself saw the Dragon Ball on Gohan's hat and retrieves the Dragon Ball, Gohan and the others wonder how he knows about the Dragon Balls. And Slug says, I'm a nomad, my dear. I've been to Namek. Now where are they? And using his energy, he pulls Bulma in towards him, and then reads Bulma's mind and steals the Dragon Radar. So Slug begins having his minions quickly round up the Dragon Balls. And then the Dragon Balls are brought to him. Slug then makes a wish on the Dragon Balls to restore his youth for eternal youth. And he gets it. Basically saying, I want to be young again. I will never wish to grow old. And the Eternal Dragon Shenron makes his wish. Slug has his youth back. And now, his soldiers begin getting to work to terra freeze the planet. As Slug plans to not only plans to terra freeze the planet, but he wants to convert Earth into his own personal star cruiser. Now this is the most messed up villain scheme ever. Slug doesn't want to rule the Earth, he wants to destroy it. But then convert it into his own personal spaceship. That is really fucked up. Soon we meet up with Goku as he had just eaten a sensu bean. And says this, ice in the tropics? This is impossible. Only for Yajirobe to show up and tell him, you took quite a nasty hit there. Good thing I'm here. And by the way, can you get me a sweater too? And Yajirobe makes this joke about, who were you expecting, Santa Claus? Only for before Yajirobe could get a chance to leave, after conversating with Goku, he ends up giving a senzu bean to Krillin, and then calling him a big baby. Alright, here you go, you big baby. Then we cut over to Goku's house in the Pazu Mountains, as Chi-Chi prepares to bring Gohan some soup, and Bulma is there as well. But Chi-Chi discovers that Gohan had snuck off to fight Slug's minions by changing into the outfit Piccolo had given him. And Bulma says, I have noticed Oolong's been gone too. Darn those sneaks. So it cuts back to the city where Gohan, Oolong, and Icarus are where Lord Slug's minions are. Only for Oolong to say, hey Gohan, let's just get out of here. And Gohan tells Oolong, you can go if you want to, but I'm staying here. And then they are caught by Slug's minions. As they begin assaulting our heroes, Gohan begins fighting back against Slug's minions, only for the kid to get overwhelmed until Piccolo shows up to save Gohan after throwing one of Slug's minions into a spotlight. Ouch. Okay, yeah, the Team 4-star dub of this had when Piccolo threw the guy into the spotlight, the minion was like, are you Batman? And then Piccolo threw him into the spotlight, and then it played Stone Cold Steve Austin's theme song. Then, of course, Slug's 3 elite warriors, Metamacha, Angelia, and Wings, begin fighting against our heroes. Piccolo quickly goes up against Wings, luring him to a rooftop where he quickly dispatches of Wings. Meanwhile, Gohan fights against Metamacha, and it's not looking good for the little guy, especially since Gohan gets his energy absorbed by Metamacha's minis. Yes, Metamacha, this little green guy right here, that's Metamacha, uses his minis to absorb Gohan's energy. Angela comes, and he attacks Piccolo. Piccolo tries to shirk Angela off, but only to be pelted by ki blasts by both Metamacha and Angela. Metamacha and Angela quickly defeat Piccolo and Gohan, only for Goku and Krillin to show up to aid both Gohan and Piccolo. Goku walks over to his beaten-down son, and Gohan says, I love you, Dad. And Goku says, I know. You're such a brave little guy, Gohan. I'm proud of you. And then Goku gives a lecture to Slug's 2 goons, saying, I'm only gonna say this once. Get your clouds off of our planet and leave Earth immediately, or I have no choice but to destroy you. So yeah, Goku issued an ultimatum to Slug's goons. But Angela and Metamacha didn't take too kindly to that and decide to fight off Goku, only for Goku to quickly overpower the both of them. But it's not over yet. Oh no. Slug's minions begin retreating after Slug saw how powerful Goku was. And soon, Slug comes out of his spaceship and says this. If you were coming to apply for the soldier position, use the side entrance. And Goku says, thanks, but we're self-employed. Krillin says, this guy looks like nothing. I can handle him. But Krillin is quickly batted away by Slug, who just bitch slaps Krillin. And Krillin's like, he's all yours, Goku! And Goku and Slug begin duking it out. And so far, it's not been going so good for the Saiyan hero, as Goku is quickly getting the ass kicking of a lifetime from Slug. Slug is just beating the holy hell out of Goku. He knocks Goku through a delivery truck, through shop windows. And right as Slug is about to finish our hero, Goku ignites a new transformation called False Super Saiyan. Now, I think this came out the same time that the anime was still going, since the anime itself had gotten to Super Saiyan, I think, by this point. Yeah, because I think the Frieza saga was still airing during the Japanese release of Lord Slug. Anyway, Goku caught the fist of Slug and he begins issuing a counterattack of his own, even breaking Slug's arm. And Slug's like, "You wrecked a perfectly good arm," and then rips his arm off, and then his mask and his other sleeve, only to reveal that he too is a Namekian just like Piccolo. But he's not an ordinary Namekian. No, he's a super Namek. And Slug turns into a massive giant. And soon the fight between Goku and Slug becomes a frantic game of cat and mouse. Come on. You too, Molly. Alright. So, just as it looks bad for Goku as he's down for the count... Well, just as he looks down for the count, Piccolo then tells Gohan... Or Piccolo then gets his second wind and jumps on Slug's head by pulling his antenna. Then rips his own ears off. Yes, Piccolo rips his ears off. And then commands Gohan to whistle. And Gohan's like... And he tells Gohan to remember what he had done earlier in the film. And Gohan's like, "I'm trying." And then he remembers that he was whistling. Gohan begins whistling, which begins to weaken Slug long enough for Piccolo to give Goku his energy. Piccolo had given Goku the last of his energy. And Goku accepts it, saying, "Thanks, Piccolo. I know what I must do with it." Then, Slug blasts an energy blast to where his ship was to try to silence the whistling, only for him to see Goku re-energized by the energy. Slug gets impaled through the chest via the Kaioken. When Goku hits the Kaioken through Slug's chest, or Kaioken through Slug's chest, whatever you want to call it, KO or Kaio. And then Goku begins flying up towards the clouds, only for Slug to follow him by stretching his arm to grab Goku's foot. Goku then creates the Spirit Bomb by flying up to the sun, to where near the sun was. He knocks Slug into the probe that he had been using to create the clouds to terror freeze the planet, after nailing Slug with the Spirit Bomb, and Slug and his minions are gone. They are defeated. King Kai then says this, while since he had appeared in the movie for this film, being the one to talk about Slug being a Super Namek, I forgot to talk about how the Super Nameks were a race of evil Nameks that let the power go to their heads, so they were banished from Namek by the pure-hearted good Nameks. Yeah. And Slug must have been the last of those guys. So anyway, King Kai goes to say this. Goku doesn't have to be the strongest guy, but he always knows that there is someone watching out for him. Always. Only for Gohan, Krillin, Oolong, Icarus, and Yajirobe to show up. And Yajirobe had just healed Krillin and Gohan with the Senzu beans. And then Piccolo comes out and he yells to Yajirobe to give him a bean. And Yajirobe gives Piccolo a bean. And then Gohan tells Piccolo, "Gosh, Piccolo, your ears." And then Piccolo regenerates his ears. because of the fact that it's shown that Namekians can regenerate body parts, like lizards. And Gohan makes this joke by saying, "Now I get the point," and then Piccolo's like, "Very funny, Gohan." And then we cut to Kame House one last time where Master Roshi had been sleeping. Yes, Master Roshi slept through the entirety of this movie. I'm amazed Master Roshi was able to sleep through this entire thing and not be woken up by everything that happened. So that was Dragon Ball Z Lord Slug. Final thoughts, I definitely think it's a massive improvement from Tree of Might. And I gotta say, I recommend you watch it with the American soundtrack. I don't know, I just don't find it as interesting with the Japanese version, but I find it more interesting with the American version, especially if it's got bands like Deftones, Disturbed, Boy Hits Car, Finger 11, you name it. So anyway, next time, I will review the movie that I've been wanting to talk about for a while for the Dragon Ball franchise, Cooler's Revenge. So next time it's Cooler's Revenge. See ya, and don't worry, my Unforgiven 98 review will be coming soon. See ya!